Too lazy. In the cut. In the cut.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, Brody?
What is going on?
Yes,
All right. We are live in the cut.
in the cut. We're ready to go.
Man, excuse this crazy sunburn I got from biking from 4 hours with Queens Runners yesterday.
I was wondering how you got that.
Yeah, this is I had a hat on.
Listen, you got a tan, and I'm here losing my voice. I'm just probably getting it back just now, so I don't know. Let's make this work.
So, well, Pete, first and foremost, how's your day, man? I'm glad you're on here, bro.
No, it wasn't too bad, man. I was just chilling, bro. Like I wasn't feeling too well. My voice was. You couldn't hear me this morning.
What?
Yesterday too. Like I was fighting to like talk yesterday.
We was good on that bike ride.
Yeah, we was, and I don't like. That's why I don't know if it was my allergies. I don't know what was going on because it got a little chilly like on the way back, and I'm like, whoa.
Listen, after the 30-mile mark, my voice would have been gone too.
Yeah, so I wasn't. Remember, I don't have like a bell, right? So I'm like, move out the way. So I'm too busy screaming, yelling, right? So maybe that's it, man. After 60 miles, you probably lose it.
Oh man, well, yo, we got a special guest on here today.
Yes, we do, man. Today's a very, very good but sensitive topic tonight. So.
For sure, man. And it's funny. I got introduced to one of our special guests technically through you.
Yeah, I mean, I met him about the same time. We pretty much met him at the same time, so which is a good thing, man. This guy is he's a great individual. Yeah, he's a best friend of mine, right? He's a good father, right? It's definitely like a mentor to many, right? Not only to myself, but to many people. So I'm excited to have him on a call tonight, and actually, other people can actually hear him,
For sure, yeah. Like when I met this guy, man. First thing I said was he was wearing this shirt. It was like, I know it was like the colors of a flag. It was like blue, red, and white. And I'm like, is that the Texas flag? Is this guy from Texas or something like that?
I still have that picture. I have it somewhere, bro. I'll send you that picture.
Yeah, and it was in East New York. It was somewhere in Brooklyn. It was around his. I'm sure it was around his house. And I'm just like, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like,
yeah.
trying to figure this guy out, man. And then I finally have a conversation. I'm like, whoa, this is one of the smoothest motherfuckers that I've ever met.
Yeah,
Like, got the
definitely.
radio voice, got
The
the,
flex.
we had Mike on here, last show, a few shows ago, and like he was smooth, but this dude right here,
Yeah, definitely.
not only that, but when I met him as well, I got to see him outside, meet him outside of when we were talking business, man, and just understood that this was a person that I wanted to be around, and the type of people I want to attract into my life, and we're just gonna get him on here, and you see exactly why, why we think so highly of him, man. But welcome, my brother Duran, Mr.
Yes.
Duran Flemming.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Pete? What's going on, Jay?
Good, my
What is
brother.
up? What is up, man? And let me correct you. This is Pastor Duran Fleming.
Yeah. That's
Very
it.
much.
Listen, that's all right.
I,
Hello.
I didn't meet him a pastor, but I actually got to see his journey on his way to
Yes,
being a
yes.
pastor. So it's a blessing to have someone like you, like in my life as well. You know what I mean? To actually somebody that I can call at any time, somebody that actually give me the right advice at any moment. You know, like definitely the right person to talk to when you know how you just gotta look for that person. Like if you want to talk to somebody, you need that advice, and you make sure you call the right person so that you can get the right advice. Yeah, you definitely one of those people that I can call to actually have that conversation, good or bad. It doesn't matter because I can really be like be my not only be myself but be transparent as well. Right?
A
Absolutely.
thousand percent, I'm with you.
But
Yeah. So go ahead,
you,
Duran.
real quick, you know what's so funny, man? I look at the two of you the same way, man. Ain't nothing changed, man. It's how they say, iron sharpen iron,
Yeah,
and that's
Yeah.
what it is, man. From day one till now, the journey continues. We
yeah.
made each other, greater than what we started off with. You
I
know.
mean, at least
Mm.
whenever, it's not like we played ourselves and not went after what we wanted or do what we wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like we still going after our dreams. We still not on the journey. It's ups and downs, but we're on our way, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We got a couple people already up in here loading up. Vlad in the building. What's going on? Aisha in the building.
Hey, what's
Cappy in
up?
the
What's
What's
going
building.
up?
on,
What's going
Aisha?
on?
Hey, Kat.
So you know, tell them a little about yourself, man. Who were you before you were pastor? And what's your past couple weeks been like? Past couple months been like? During this whole quarantine. Just up until now. Who is Duran Fleming?
So, I definitely believe that everything that happened to us in our past leads us up to our current moment, our current situation. So my journey from as far as I can remember kind of led me to this. And when I mean led me to it, where, you know, constant reevaluation, constant, checking myself, that's something that everybody needs to do. So, real quick, born and raised in Brooklyn, pink houses,
Hmm.
really bad experience there at the age of, 13, 14, seeing a lot of, drugs and gang members. Um, the first time I seen someone actually, lose their life was on Christmas morning, actually, you know,
Wow.
as a, as like a 12 or 13-year-old kid. You wake up to your mother cooking Caribbean food with your nose, but with your ears and your eyes, you hear somebody screaming and gunshot ringing. And that definitely woke me up from a quiet, happy kid to, someone that had to understand protection. So, just to summarize my whole story, went through different scenarios of, robbery and a lot of scenarios of, you know, being cornered by gang members, And as much as you or I was afraid at the time, I still had to show them no fear, you know?
Of course.
Had to show them no fear. But, moving forward to this great person that I am, with all praise and thanks to God, married for what, 10 years now, been with my wife for 15, three beautiful children, 13, about to be 13-year-old twins, 5-year-old princes. I work for a magnificent organization. I started my own youth leadership program called I Am a Conqueror. Please follow on Instagram. That organization, that's my fourth baby. I take very, I take pride in that. Every day I work hard to evolve it. I work hard to create something new, and not just for my family, but for every youth that I come in contact with, and any individual that's seeking some type of guidance or some type of assistance, some type of help, some type of motivation or inspiration. I'm just that person. Um, for these last couple of months, it's been a roller coaster. You know, this whole COVID-19 situation, you know, definitely different. Not knowing what really is the whole, plot behind it, but I adapted.
Matter
Exactly.
of fact, let me cut you off. Let me just cut you off real quick. So, safe to say, from your background, my man is a pastor, but don't get it twisted. You can still catch these hands.
0 to 100 real quick.
you know, nah, man, and all jokes aside, man, you just being who you are, and with your family, 15 years of marriage. Shout out to Kim. That's something that I like. I admire that because, again, this is the type of lifestyle that I want to lead. And again, I know I can't do it without surrounding myself like you guys, around people like you. So, but yeah, so past couple months has been crazy. And I'm glad you're on here. This is why it was just perfect timing, honestly. This is, I wanted to make this show about, finding a solution, versus, creating more chaos, than, what's going on, right? Because obviously dialogue is important. Um, like just having an actual conversation and how to move forward, as and just allow people to be humans and understanding, you know why people are doing what they're doing. I think it's important to have that dialogue, and I think it wouldn't be a better person to have on here than you know what I'm saying. So let's talk about it, man. Like, what's going on in the world right now? Like,
Like, let's start
you
off
know
with how you feeling.
right, how you feeling, Duran?
So for me, there's a roller coaster of emotions right now. With George Floyd, man, that brought tears to my eyes because
Mm.
I know what it's like just to walk out your home and to be a threat just by the size that I am and the complexion that I am. So I understand, right off the bat, this is not something no one has to, prepare me for. I wake up,
Hmm.
go to sleep, and I live through the day being black, and that was something that it got me upset. And one of my messages right now that I've been trying to, kind of infect myself with is keeping my hope on God
You said,
and understanding that, and not even just understanding, but just believing that through our actions of, you know, telling the system, the government system, telling the world that we all need to be treated, as equals.
Mm.
That not because of the color of your skin, you're less important than someone else's, color, or, you know, I can't, I'm always a threat because what I look like.
Mm.
I'm believing and I'm understanding that God is gonna one day really convict this world, the people in it, and let them understand that all this nonsense that's going on with racism and categorizing things, it just needs to stop, and that's the issue.
Like, how do you continue to to be how do you keep going to be like you said, like to be like the man of God with all these things going on? You know what I mean? Like, how do you keep up with that? Like, how do you keep loving? How do you keep going with the to live the right way? How do you keep being that example to the people? You
So
know, like, how do you be that while all this is going on, right?
you know what? With that, I don't allow people to tell me what God looked like.
Of course, yeah, of course.
We all have this thing. Well, not we all, but a lot of people have this thing that there's a white God, a black God, a yellow God, a this
Yeah,
God, a that God. And for me to be grounded, like that's my only area, my only safe place, my safe space where I don't hold God to any gender, any race. God is energy. God is all. God is everything. You know, my company is called I Am a Conqueror. When Moses spoke to the burning bush and he asked that question, who shall I say sent me? And God replied, I am that I am.
mm,
You know, there's no particular form. God is in all. God is in everything. And I keep that in my mind. And that's something that keeps me humble and staying in love. He also, I even got this two scriptures for you today.
let's get it, man. That we was expecting that. You know, at least I was. I know that.
You know, it's coming from Matthew, and we all know this, but if we just dissect it, it says Matthew 22, chapter 22, verse 37, Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And that's the problem. That's the issue. That's the main reason, the disconnect with people.
I'm a feed off for that one though, Duran. They said because I heard something the other
Um,
like, was it yesterday, the other day? Like if we just follow the first two commandments, we'll be all right.
but
Because
Mm.
the
that's
first two commandments will handle the other commandments. If we just really take the first two commandments seriously, I think that
I agree.
yeah, like you said, because you just said thou shalt love thy neighbor, right? Like if we would just actually do that, right? If like I think obviously the world will be a better place. But again, that's a different topic because not a lot, not everyone believes in it, which I understand too.
but
Because
Well, hold on. Let me
uh,
go ahead.
but that's the thing. The reason why a lot of people don't believe in it, or why it's so hard to keep true to it, is because how can you love somebody if you don't love yourself?
or that's
Mm.
facts too. Or I was saying to myself because again, the subject can be like it can go a lot of places where I think majority of the people, and just in general, don't believe what they don't see,
Hmm.
not knowing that when it comes to this journey, you don't see, you feel.
Hmm.
So that's one thing, at least on my end. That's how I learned. Like I
No,
definitely, I
and that,
definitely couldn't see
uh
without feeling.
uh
So I had to feel
I
for me to see.
right. And
You know what I mean?
you know what if I could add on to that, man, like this whole what we're going through just makes me personally just a person that again I need to find the truth in
Yeah,
what's going on here, right? So it's like, why are people doing what they're doing? What has been said in the past, maybe in the Bible, or someone, what have people been saying in the past that that could use to fix this? And it's like, for people that don't know first and second commandment, or just something that they don't think about it. Obviously, first commandment, love God. All right, second commandment, love thy neighbor. And obviously it's like, if God is, God is everything, created everything, he's within everything. So it's like, if you don't love your neighbor, then obviously you don't that means you don't love God who created that. So, with that being said, like, do you think, maybe you can give me some insight on this, because it's been something that's been going on in my mind right now. Again, just trying to figure out a solution rather than just continue in
of course.
chaos. And again, I'm not here to say what's to be justified, or how people are acting isn't justified. Because again, being Filipino, I guess I can't really say. But I would like your insight. Like, for me, I think we've come a long way, in building our relationship, between us, starting off as complete strangers, and now, me and Pedro, like, your daughter is our goddaughter. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
so I think I've seen a lot of the spectrum, but you know, when people are going out there and whether they're protesting, maybe peaceful protesting, or not as peaceful as we see out there on social media. Like, do you think religion is on their mind?
So, as everybody know, I'm not religious,
Hmm.
and most people that do things that is ungodly, that say they love God and believe in God, are too religious. I build relationship with God. Religion brings you the religion brings you up onto the gate, if you want to use that metaphor. The relationship you build with God is going to teach you that if you love yourself as you love your neighbor, or love your neighbor as you love thyself, then you know, if I'm going to treat myself like $100, my neighbor I'm going to treat like $100.
of course.
If I want, the steak and lobster for myself, then my neighbor deserves steak and lobster. And this is the message that God is really trying to imprint on our hearts, that stop separating everything. We were created from one source. God is all. God is everything. God is in you. God is in me. God is in us all. So when we start categorizing things with God, that is unlike Him, because our true form, our true nature, our true identity, our true purpose is to love,
Hmm. God is love.
and that's all.
Because one thing I know, like, not that I didn't know, Mike, which we had as like the guest prior, like the last couple of episodes, he says something in different. He just put it in a different perspective to me, like when it comes to like being obedient. Because I was like, yo, what's the toughest part to be obedient. Like I'm not perfect. Like I go left and right. I might pray for something, ask for forgiveness, and come right back to it just for the hell of it, right? Like, I'm just not perfect. They're just who I am for now. You know what I mean? But I'm working real hard on myself to actually just become close to that, like close to perfect, because I know no one's perfect. But what I'm trying to say is that he put in a perspective where he was like, look, man, listen to what you're saying. You said you want to become obedient, right? Like that's the number one thing. Like who's asking you to become obedient?
Mhm,
Which is our God, our Father, right?
mhm.
So that knowing that, would you disobey, right? But even then, like not that I disobey or whatever, I consciously do that.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm trying to, not that I'm, hey, I want to sin right now. I probably do sin every day, not knowing. That's why I do ask for forgiveness. But like, what I'm like, he just made it clear, like, understand that God is the one asking you to do something, do all these things. So, meaning just, it's
You don't want to hurt them. You don't. Why
Yeah,
would you
like,
want to hurt
yeah,
your
that's
own
what I'm
father?
trying to say. Like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
I look at my mom like that now. Like, I was a pain in the butt. Like, my mom could tell me I'm still a pain in the butt. But, 72 years later, I'm still a pain in the butt, right? But I'm starting to come to understand now that, hey, just say yes, man. It's your mom, right? Obey your mom too. Like, I'm learning all of that just to be obedient. And that's hard for people. That's what I'm trying to say for the masses.
Let me ask you this question because you two are very, I say, um, you're there when it comes to business, the business mentality. You got it. And one thing that we all was taught is that your words is going to create your environment, right? And we know if we're going out there to become successful, to make millions of dollars, at no point, at no time during that journey, we need to tell ourselves we can't do it.
Hmm.
The first encouragement before anyone can encourage us to make that first million or first dollar, we got to believe it in
Yeah,
ourselves.
I don't need anyone to motivate me.
Exactly. Self motivation starts first. Now, I say that because this is where I want to go with it. When for so long I've been hearing people say, I'm not perfect, I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I used to say that.
And I started to change that. And the reason why I started to change that, because words are powerful.
Hmm.
If we keep telling ourselves, I'm a sinner, if we keep telling ourselves, you know what, I'm not perfect, if we keep, then we're making this room
Yeah,
to do something.
the power of the tongue, right? The power of the tongue. That's what you're
The
saying.
excuse before we do something sinful or negative, you know what, I'm not perfect. Because you already put in your mind that I'm going to mess up anyway. I'm going to go and do it, and I'm going to say I'm not perfect. God is going to forgive me.
Or you're gonna forgive me, right? That's what it is.
Exactly. And that's the wrong
Attitude,
way.
mentality. Yeah, yeah.
When we say, when that whole term of not being perfect is in effect, it's when you're going to do something with your whole heart, 100%. And maybe it don't come out to the best that first attempt, then it's all right to say, well, you know what? I'm going to try again.
Hmm.
Instead of going into it right away, you know what? I ain't perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not That's not it. We have to use that law in our whole life. If we're going to go out there and be successful in business and we got to tell our mind I'm successful, then when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to tell myself I am
I am
loved. I
successful.
am perfect. I am winning. I am successful. I already got that. I already claimed that. I already changed that. I already led these people. I'm already doing all of this. I'm claiming it. I'm already putting that energy to work because we're
Wow.
all energy.
That's a fact.
So
Mm-hmm.
if my energy is contagious, then it's going to be contagious with positivity. It ain't going to have that.
I love that, man. You know what I love about that too? When you bring out the positivity, like you're positive, like say all day long, right? The negative starts to come out, right? To
No,
come out.
just
But for me,
imagine.
I love it because you're able to dissect them. Meaning, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to go that way. Like that's a bad energy. Don't go that way. Next, because if, like you said, your energy just is reeking, bro. Like it's just the ones who's not in the same level as you will move out the way, bro. Like just
Mm-hmm.
on their own without even you telling them, which is
Exactly, because
I love
listen,
that.
one thing that I can literally debate anybody, I believe with every fiber in my bone that God is protecting me. I can't say that for anyone else. I know that God is protecting all of us,
Mhm.
but it's up to you to believe that. And for me to have you believe in it, I got to walk in a certain way that you see that light in me without me even telling you. I got to always be looking at, I always got to look forward. I always got to move forward. I always got to make it into this way of thinking that, you know what, someone is watching. I'm leading by example.
That's the easiest way to put it. but it's the hardest thing to do.
it is. But you know what?
But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth.
It
It's
is.
worth because again, like especially where you come from, where like growing up is probably tough as it's tough as hell. You probably had to do that. Like the best thing for you is like to do is probably practice like positive thinking. Practice like just everything, on that energy. Because if not, I guess you'll sink just like everybody else. Like majority of the people in the hood.
Absolutely, man. You touching something tonight with me. Let me give you this real quick situation. I think I was around 13. I was born with asthma, chronic asthma. Been admitted in Kings County Hospital numerous times, 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time. And I remember this one particular moment. I caught a really bad asthma attack, and I just couldn't even scream. I was in my bedroom, door was locked, and the blanket and everything was literally just wrapped around me. I had no energy. I couldn't scream. And by the grace of God, my father just got up, and I'm just losing feelings in my hand. I'm not hearing. I feel like literally this is my last moment, and I'm hearing my father, screaming, my mother crying like, Duran, you can't leave us. You can't leave us. Call the ambulance. Call the ambulance. And they working on me, and they working on me, and the ambulance came. And I remember at this time I was in the hospital maybe for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Oxygen level was just dropping. They had to keep me on a mask. And one thing that why I remember that is because if I was able to make it there, if God saw favor in me at that moment, not many people have asthma attacks that severe and is able to talk about it today.
Today.
And if I'm able to talk about it and God was able, that means nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, better plans for you.
Exactly. That means let me tell you something. When I'm telling you I walk with bold assurance, I walk with bold assurance.
You have to.
I understand who's protecting me, who's guiding me, who's talking to me at night, who's waking me up in the morning, who's giving me the life, the energy. I don't give man that type of credit. And that's the issue that's going on in our world today. You got one race who thinks they're more superior than another race. You got certain individuals who feel that, they can do whatever they feel like they can do, and it don't work like that.
Do you think now that they really like segregating us now, like they're really separating us now, like because of what's going on?
If it keeps happening,
Like meaning that, like they're pretty much, how am I gonna say it? They're pretty much categorizing people. Not that they weren't doing it before, but now it's obvious, obviously.
Right. Well, I mean, Will Smith said it. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's seen this, but he said, "Listen, racism isn't getting worse; it's just being filmed."
Being filmed now because we have technology today. It's not like before. Because I was just telling my wife the other day, I remember, from what I remember, I know it was happening before, like Rodney King or whatever the case is, but I remember Sean Bell.
Yeah,
I was a kid still.
You only had a wallet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was in his car, right, or something like that, and they shot him like 40.
Because his wallet was a gun.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I remember from there. That's when I was like, oh wait, this is serious. There's no way you're gonna do that to a man. Like
So
anybody.
So I actually want to get into this as well, man. Like, again, going back to the point where it's just, we're in a different time right now. Like you saw when you were a kid, right? And at that time, it was just something that if you was if it was able to be picked up, you would notice it. And now we live in the age of social media era where the media has a way to obviously misconstrue things.
Yeah, no one's
Um,
safe.
so with that being said, like Duran, I'll ask you this, Pete. You guys both have kids, and you guys are both aspiring fathers that I would want to be. You know, this is a conversation that you got to have. As a parent, how to
Yeah.
deal with these situations. And plan ahead for these situations. Like, what? I'll start off with you, Duran. Like, what's the conversation going on? Because again, social media is out there. Your kids are on, I like you could be there's 2-year-olds that are on social media and you don't even know what they're looking at, but
Mhm.
it's just we have access, people are, the kids are on, they know what's going on,
It's all over
so it's like
TV. Can't hide.
what's the conversation you having with them?
So, and this is funny because earlier today we had like a youth forum, and that's a conversation that you just can't hide. And
By the way, is that open for everyone?
yes, yes, I can give you guys the information. The organization I hold the key. Very, you know,
Just
it's
have the kids plug in, right? Just have the kids plug in. Is it a Zoom?
it will be something on a weekly or monthly basis. We still trying to get everything, put together, but please do. We had a real awesome session today. But what I tell my son, especially, just follow it. We had an attorney that literally just told us and explained if you get stopped by a cop, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you're driving, you
So
know, what to do and what not to do. And I had my son listen in on that. And after the conversation, I just went in depth and I shared a couple of my experiences with him. I just told him, like, just by walking out your house, you're a threat.
Hmm.
A cop will see you if it's not a good one, and he's going to provoke you.
hmm
He's going to antagonize you. He's going to do everything in his power to make him draw his weapon.
get you pissed
And
off so you can fight.
I told him, I tell him a lot. Your job is not to make him draw his weapon. Your job is to, one of the attorneys today, one of my brothers, he said it the best. Your job is to make it back home.
Yep.
Mm.
And as true as that may seem, it hurt me to hear that being, the color that you are, living in the skin that you was blessed with, you
Mm.
know, one of your biggest goals in a day is just to make it back home.
That's something my mom and my dad always tell me that. They're like, listen, man, just make it back home and don't bring anyone pregnant. Growing up, that's what they tell me.
Yo, hold on. So speaking about this,
Definitely make it back home.
speaking about getting pulled over, were you Duran? Were you with us when we got pulled over in East New York? I don't know if it was in East New York. We was in
Oh,
Pink's
that was
car.
Dwayne.
No, it
Dwayne was with us.
was,
Dwayne
Let's
when we
talk about this,
yeah, that was bad too. And I already saw that
bro.
in Dwayne's face.
So
And
Duran, check. Yeah,
okay, you started off and then because that was bad too.
yeah. No, so check this out. So we driving around in East New York. I forgot who we was with. I know we was in a Beamer. It
We
was
just picked up
Pedro's
Dwayne.
car.
We just picked up Dwayne.
Picked up Dwayne. So it's two Filipino dudes in the front. Keegan, I believe, was in the back.
I don't know if Keegan was with it. I think it was Dwayne. It
Keegan,
was Dwayne. It was
Dwayne.
just Dwayne, bro. It was Dwayne. I
There was a
remember
few.
that's when they checked my car, right?
Yeah, there was a. But
Yeah,
I know there was more than one. I think there was more than one person. But here we go.
there was
So
more than
we
one cop. Now I tell
there
you,
was more than one cop. Yeah, they
a
pulled us
lot of
over,
them.
and so we driving around. I forgot what it was. Obviously all business. We was doing running around doing having meetings, presentations, whatever the case may be,
mm,
and we all of a sudden I'm just like. It's like the perfect situation to get pulled over. It's like, look at
Hell
these two
yeah.
Asian guys with two black guys in the back. And you driving around East New York, windows are tinted, to a certain extent, and it's like I'm like just looking around, and it's like, all right, well, this is cool, but in my mind, I'm just like, yo, this kind of looks. After it all happened, I was just like, yo, this, I could see why they kind of would want to pull us over. Like, what are we doing in these? Like, I
Yeah.
have no business being out there. You know
We
what I'm
didn't
saying?
no, but we didn't do anything. Supposedly we fit the criteria, right?
Right. So they pull
So
us, they pull us over.
hold
They
it over.
pull us over. It's a little chilly out that night. They take us, and
Very
these guys were
cold.
in.
Forget
Yeah,
literature. Very
they
cold.
weren't even they were in plain clothes. They weren't dressed, and it's like the perfect situation. I'm just like, yo, you guys pulled over the cleanest car
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. Like this is the cleanest car. But this was the funny part. I was in my mind. I was just trying to play this out. P, for those you don't know, this guy is a legal drug dealer. He works as a pharmacy tech. So he had some pills in the middle seat. It was probably like Tylenol or something like that he
Yeah.
gets at a job all day long. I we was out running. I just probably just came out of work. We were out running.
Oh
I went
yeah. The
from
fruit.
my 9 to 5, to a to go work on our business, and I had some snacks, had some Fruit Loops or some sort of cereal. I killed all the cereal, but it was in a plastic bag. I took it to go, rushing out of my crib. I took it to go, and all that was left, right after I finished the cereal, in this clear plastic bag was the sugar. So all you see in this white baggie is like sugar on the bottom. But obviously, pulling us over in East New York, two Asian guys in the front, two black guys in the back. I forgot. I know Mohawk was one of them, but
Mohawk is
and
that.
it's like, yo, these guys got these pills over here, got this bag of substance, whatever this is. Could be coke, could be something else. All right, cool. Get out the car.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, but this never happened
No.
when I was in Queens and it was just me, or when I was in the Beamer by myself, or like it never happened.
And Mohawk was pissed off, and I tell him, calm down, man. I know what's going on over here because I've learned like throughout my years, every time I get, like being young, growing up, it wasn't all good and dandy. Growing up in the '90s was it was fun, but thank God that we had no social media because they have no proof, right? But we was doing a lot of things, and like I experienced, either getting stopped by a cop, getting pulled over or getting searched on a wall. I experienced all of that. And during that time, I remember Mohawk was already pissed off. It was cold. So when they asked me to, yo, can we search your car? Mohawk was already saying, yo, they can't do that. They can't do that. But I told him, look, listen, man, I don't want nothing happening. There's nothing in this car, so don't worry about it. If that's what's gonna make him happy to search my car right now, so that we can all go mind our business after this, then go right ahead, search the car. So we was polite with the officers, although like in the beginning they obviously were a little rough on us. But after we started communicating better and like just going along with what they're saying, we just we got a little better. They searched the car.
Something
Yeah.
in my mind though said, listen, if because I do remember Dwayne being tight, I knew if it couldn't went left.
He would have went real left. He was already tight. He was already like you heard him already like cursing somebody.
I'll be tight too. I'll be upset too.
But because we wasn't doing anything, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure two Asian guys and a black guy in the back fit the criteria. Yeah, yeah, I get it.
But that's the thing that I'm saying. That's so crazy. It's like everything nowadays that have black persons involved fits the criteria, or they're a suspect, or it's just kind of frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
It's frustrating.
I think I thank God on how we met, and through our travel club, and I can't say that prior to this, the only other black people that I was hanging around with is if I was playing ball, and the reason why we all really got along and I kicked it with everybody is because I could keep up. You know what I'm saying? But when I met you guys, it was more of, obviously it was outside of basketball, it was more of a family ship. So I could be like, yeah, I'm cool with black people, color doesn't bother me. I don't see color, whatever case may be.
Yeah, never.
But I understood that I was not really living it. And then we meet you guys through our travel app. And I think that it's one of the greatest things, that we all joined that journey and move forward together. Again, we're like brothers now. Because without that, I wouldn't even think I would have an input in what's going on right now. Like really, like going like I think about how me and P show up to your family parties, bro, and we like the only Asians there.
Ordered food.
Right. So Nick, what's going on, bro? And I'm just so grateful that's how it went down, because it just puts me in this position where I just want to create unity, just like how I found this relationship. And I just want to create that sort of unity and build and be a guiding light during these dark times, like you mentioned earlier.
Because racism is everywhere. I promise you that. Because when I was younger, I lived in Australia, understand that they called me the N word for years, bro. To the point where I believed I was that because I was really dark. You know what I mean? So, and then when I got to America, when people ask me, "Yo, where you from?" I'm black. That's how much they implanted the N word in my head. Understand that? My brother can vouch for this because they were really, but we was tough dudes though. I wasn't backing down for nothing. You know what I mean? I experienced that slightly, but didn't know how bad it was on this side of the world because that was the other side of the world. You understand what I mean? But it's going on there too, bro. Like they will call you the N word like more freely than here, right? It's crazy.
That whole. So earlier last year, I worked at an organization and uh, over there, I think in 76th Street or 71st Street, and that really showed me how much there are racists in New York City. That little area right there, and from being called the N word to being told that, oh, because of how I look, they were afraid, so they would threaten me. You know, so many different things happen. And like I said, sometimes you go through things in your past and you're upset. And this is just a message that I just want someone to hear. Currently, you're upset of what's going on, you're angry. But the best thing to do is to take a deep breath and fall back because promise you, I promise you, every single thing that happens, it's leading and it's setting you up for something great and phenomenal to testify on. I promise you that to call the N word and get threatened and approached in a physical way, I really could have been, arrested because I could have snapped. But
Right.
you know what? Like I said, and it goes back to really believing in God. I don't play God. I don't play this church thing. This is me. It's embedded in me. And when you start building a relationship with God and not with religion, you start to see things a bit different. You start to understand people a little bit differently. There's a saying that I constantly, say in my church that God plan plus your persistence and preparation equals life promotion. God already
Hmm.
planned everything for us. Our victories
Wait a
are
minute. Wait a minute.
He's
Hold
got
on.
to
You got to
prepare.
say that one more time. You got to say
God,
that one more time.
God plan plus our persistence and preparation equals life promotion.
That's the
And
three P's.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And that's something that we got to inject that in our system and believe and have faith and
But
understand.
but you had to work for that. You don't just
Well, we know faith without works is
yeah.
dead.
But that's but I just want to emphasize that because I don't want people to just think that you're just talking about the prices. You know, understand that they gotta pay the price to get the
No, you gotta work.
yeah. Just,
You
I
gotta work.
want to say that because most again how they say most people just see the ending but they never see the process. So you gotta
Exactly.
that's why I just want to say that like look yeah you do have all this belief in faith but you work so hard to actually just believing in yourself.
I
Yeah.
tell you, before becoming a pastor, one of the pastors in my church, the one of the youth pastors, I remember maybe 12 years ago? No, 11 years ago, just getting into the church, didn't really know much about it. A kid that went through so much struggle growing up from, as I mentioned earlier, from being robbed, doing stupidness in the street, fighting a bunch of nonsense. From a kid that, you know, seen life come out of someone that they love and just wanted to change. That's another piece. Want to change, and I wanted to change, and being baptized and walking in this ministry. I tell you the honest truth. I worked my butt off. Anybody in my church can tell you I worked hard from the first time getting up and nervous to speak in front of the congregation to people walking out while I'm speaking or preaching, to people saying that, oh, you're not ready, people discouraging you, you're getting upset. I worked. So, no, the glory doesn't just fall into your hand. You got to work. You got to put in the work. You got to get some bloody knuckles, some dirt on your knees.
I needed you to say all that because I want people to understand. Well, at the end of everything, people thank God for it.
No, of course. How can you thank God for
That's
something
why I
if
want
you
you, that's
work
why I
for it?
wanted you to emphasize that a little bit more.
You know, you will never understand and appreciate anything in your life. You would never appreciate the value of things if you don't work for it. Working for something is necessary because you understand the process of getting it.
Yes.
And as we speak about that, I want to bring up to the point where we all entrepreneurs here, and you know, to be completely transparent, man, things are gonna, things obviously, hopefully they get better sooner than later. But I know that it's gonna be a lot more chaos before that all happens. But we will evolve,
Of course.
and that's what
But I believe,
that's what this country was built on, right? Like this country was built on what's happening right now. People
That's
forget
what
that history
humans
repeats
are made of.
itself.
That's what humans are made of. We're meant to adapt. If you're not adapting, right? Like again, last episode, if the world is shifting, if you're not gonna shift with it, you losing, bro. Like, what are you really doing? If
Hmm.
you're not growing with
Like
it, you're dying, right? That's
we going into the age where this is gonna be entrepreneurs on the rise. Like it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But once it gets better, you're gonna see a bunch more entrepreneurs,
I
like
agree.
90% more entrepreneurs just on the come up doing different things.
because
You
they
know,
said survival of the fittest. That doesn't mean survival of the fittest, meaning you got to be strong or healthy or start running or whatever. No, survival of the fittest means whoever adapts first.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Whoever adapts to what's going on in the world today will be the one thriving.
I tell you this though,
That's what they got.
and the adapting though, you better have a solid foundation.
Yeah. Because that's when you right.
You better believe in something. I would recommend make sure that foundation starts, it's in the middle and end with God.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to pressure anyone to serve God. But I would definitely let you know this: whatever is your foundation, make sure it's strong. Make sure that it's holding
thousand
everything that
percent.
you're building on top of it. I promise you, because as every situation that will occur in your life, you can't crumble all the time. You can't keep falling. You can't keep, backing out. I heard someone say you will know the character or how strong a man is when his back is against the wall.
Damn right. I don't even show people when my back is against the wall.
You know, it's easy. It's easy, and this is another thing too. I want to leave you guys with. It's easy to say I love God when your pocketbook or your wallet is
Exactly.
full.
Exactly.
It's easy, to say God is good when the kids are doing right and the marriage is 100%. There's no cracks. It's easy to say God is real when everyone is saying yes and I love this person and you're a great person. It's easy. But let me tell you something. You start to appreciate God a little bit more when you understand when your feet touch that valley and that sun ain't coming up too quickly.
I don't know. I mean, on me, on my side of time, at least on that subject, I actually appreciated him more when I was praying in my hard times.
Uh,
I don't know if that makes sense. That makes sense.
nah,
No, that's I'm
listen,
with
that,
you.
that makes a lot of sense. I
You know,
just want people to
not that I wasn't appreciating him when everything's coming down to me. You know what I mean? But
no, of course.
I learned because that wasn't me. You know, like I was having a hard time when I wasn't enjoying praying while it's bad. Make
Yeah,
sense?
but that's the thing. When things are
Because I pray when it's good and bad. Get it? Or it doesn't matter. I pray regardless. However, I don't.
that's how it should be.
But, but the point is, I actually, or at least just me. Again, I don't know for everybody else. I got closer. I got closer to him the deeper I got, that the deeper I went down, bro.
Of course.
The deeper I went down,
Of
that's
course.
the most I got close to him. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. Not when I was
Of course.
not when I was winning. Get it? Not while I was winning.
Exactly.
My
That makes
relation,
1,000%
my
sense, man.
relationship with him got deeper when I was all the way like the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's how it
and
works.
and that's that's what I'm trying to say. I say that because that's when I found out who he was. I found out everything, like everything I prayed for, everything that I've been saying, whether it took me a month, a year, few months, everything during those moments that I was praying for, bro. It's like you see it just unwind. It's weird, right? So
But
that's
that's
probably
how
why,
it is.
right? That's probably why. Because that's why I tell people, like, just if you just feel what I feel, man, you probably follow God. Because I can't explain. It doesn't sound real. You know what I mean? It
Um,
doesn't sound real to people if I tell you what God have done for me. They can be like, "Oh, that sounds great." It sounds great, of course. Nothing bad is gonna come out of your mouth if you're gonna talk about what has God done for you. Of course,
but that's why it's important to
yeah,
build that
of
relationship.
course, it sounds great. But to the average who don't believe, you know how many times I heard that's BS. What? And I just pray for you. Not that I'm gonna argue with you. I go, bro, that's what I believe in. You don't have to believe what I believe in, but maybe you need to pray a little bit so you can be a little better. Because I can tell by the tone of your voice, you're a little harsh, buddy. You know what I mean?
That's
That,
how
that's how I do it now. I learned to pray for people too. You know what I mean? I
you
don't.
have to. You
Yeah,
have to.
Hey, I'd like to take a quick second, man. We got my man Mike in here. He was on our show a couple
yeah. Mike is like, phew.
2 shows ago. And I know his real good friend of ours, my man Mike is brother in Christ, man. And I know you're going through some hard times right now, Mike. But prayers for your brother Denny out there, man. I know you guys
Right,
got something going on Facebook. A prayer meeting.
10 o'clock.
Definitely get in on that. Right. And I can't say that I know exactly what you're feeling, but I know that we got the source that could heal all things, man. And I know within him, everything will be all right.
Just
That's
talking
right.
like
Um,
that got me like, look. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know
mhm.
what I mean? It's just weird. Every time I talk about the mind ball, I start sweating. I start everything starting to happen. Like it's
Yeah,
weird.
man. My prayers go out to you guys, man. Mike and the fam, bro.
You know?
Definitely. Mine's too. Mine's too.
Yeah, because I was on that.
So
But yeah, but so look, right? So at least let's get back on subject. Like, let's just go ask this question. Like, do you think like racism will, like, I can't say end. Will it slow down, or I don't know. I can't really say end. So, do you think it will end? I guess, right? Or slow down, or after what's going on today, after the protests, or the looting is making it real bad. I don't know. I really don't know. In your opinion,
So with racism, until that conversation comes 100% transparent, that people in high offices can hold their counterparts that also are racist accountable,
mhm.
then it will always be.
is it the cops or the
This is what I say. Like what I think. This is. I mean, first and foremost, you know, if you're a black, if you black and you in America right now, you going through a pandemic and a plandemic is what they're calling it.
you gotta yeah.
Some sort of there's a plandemic going on. There's I believe also there's some things going on in the background that, at the end of the day, whatever it is going on in the background, this is what I have to say. If racism will ever end, I think that we could only control in between our ears. And your mind is a garden. What you feed into it, you plant good seeds come out. You plant bad seeds come out. And again, it's just, I just know that that's what I can control. I can't control what anyone else is doing, but what I could do is I can control what I can control and get on here and spread this, so other ears could pick this up, and we could all move forward again as a unit. Like until I thought about this too. Having people having people think about these issues, but not, again, like Duran mentioned, have it transparent and with the purpose. there's no intelligent accomplishment moving forward. We just it's just and this is why we see a lot of a lot of this negative media right now, where people are just the looting, the all the stuff that's going on. It's like people just joining in on the looting because they don't know exactly what other purpose to serve. You know what I'm saying? But if they, back to what we were saying, if they had some sort of foundation, I'm sure they would think about it like, man, this is probably not the best idea moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
So, and that's a sensitive, topic because do I agree with the looting? No, I don't. You understand? But at the same token, people are black people being very transparent are frustrated with the
Right.
nonsense, with the ridiculous shootings and the killings and being arrested for nothing and stopped for
Hmm.
nothing. You know, it's frustrating.
They tired. We tired.
No,
You
I
know,
understand that, but
but
now
but at the same token, I'm frustrated. I'm a little vexed, yes, but you know what? I'm energized because I'm ready now to put my feet to the floor and run as hard with people that's gonna, move to change this.
towards the change.
I don't I'm gonna be honest, there is racism. Yes. People just was taught to hate blacks.
Hmm.
You wasn't born hating people, you weren't born loving people. You get taught this.
Mm.
I
Very
mean, like
true.
in,
you
in
know,
in any race is good and bad, man. I don't think it's just that one race. It's in any race, man. You gotta be, it's gotta be even out. I'm sorry.
it just doesn't make sense
Yeah,
that
it doesn't.
you just hate black people. That's something that you know is unacceptable.
Yeah,
And cops watching, they co-workers kill innocent black people are just as guilty. They need to be held accountable. Your partner is doing something ridiculous. You hold them accountable. It is what it is.
they have their own gang. Minnesota. I mean, I don't know if Minnesota laws are different or whatever the case is, but I didn't really read everything, but from what I've read, they really have a bad system. I mean, I'm pretty sure all around is bad. I'm just saying they really got it bad, like
But
bad.
but on top of that, even each individual state, country, have their own laws. There's a universal law.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, I'm just saying.
Loving somebody and just treating them fair, you
Yeah,
know, integrity.
we're humans at the end of the day. We're
There's
humans.
certain things that, you know, speaks in all languages. Like
Hmm.
love, man. You can't possibly tell me you love yourself when you innocently kill somebody.
Yeah,
I,
or
I think it's
or
what is it,
looted.
John? Right. I heard from the Bible. I think it's John 17. Father, make them one as you and I are one.
Hmm.
Okay.
And that's what I understood. I'm like how could you you know going back to like George Floyd, or really just anybody else, who we could go down the line, man.
It's a lot of them.
It's like, how could you go through and pull off these acts and just not understand that, yo, this is not what's written. This is not what should be, you know. But I also understand, as common sense as it is for someone like for us to have a conversation like this. I also know that this is hundreds of years of acts that we're trying to reverse. Like, we want to reverse this tomorrow. But again, what it comes down to is we're here, we doing our part in creating unity, and moving forward with what we have going on.
So now you see why I can't be religious. Now you see why I can't hold God to a color or
Mhm.
a gender.
I never
Mhm.
looked at it like that. Anyways, I don't know. Like my I
You
don't
know,
know. I
I
never I
can't
never
because
looked at
that's
people
my
like that.
only safe space right now.
Yeah, I never. You
To
know,
really believe that God is for all of us. You
Mhm.
understand? The truth of the matter is racism right now, but For some of us that's ministers, like I tell people, I can't hide who I am.
Word.
I'm a big black man.
Yeah, yeah.
To be.
Like if I don't know you and I'm walking on the street, and let's just say at nighttime, let's just say I don't know you, I'm just walking down the block. I will definitely cross the street. Let's just
And,
say.
and, and, and that's the messed up thing about it.
That is a thing. Let's just say like, oh my God, that's a big dude. I'm by myself. It's 1 o'clock at night. I gotta go home.
You
You know
know?
what I mean?
Mm.
So I mean, I'm just saying. I'm talking about the people out there. I wouldn't do that because I just
No,
walk.
I'm just saying, but that's the truth.
Yeah,
that's
but
that's the truth though.
but I've been in
People,
situations like that. I'm like, oh, like you walking across the street, you looking at me? I'm like, all right.
but that's the craziest thing. And you know, like I said, and I gotta hold firm to it, you know, God is my source. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when some people turn to smoking weed or drinking, I have to turn to God because that's the only time where I'm hurt or angry, depressed, sad. I can turn to inwardly and just talk and get all that out, get all the right answers. And I just don't see, any change happening until first we start being founded more and grounded more on God.
And we got to read the Bible, bro. Everybody.
But even with that, if you're gonna read the Bible, like some ministers come
Oh,
out,
I say that at least because if let's just say everybody read the Bible, at least I go, bro. Nah, I know you know, buddy.
but imagine you got people that's quoting scriptures to harm people.
Well, then come on, we know that. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they will do that. Like the picture the guy took yesterday. I'm pretty sure they will do it.
you
Yeah, I
know,
get it.
you,
I get it.
you're
I get
using
it.
the Bible as a photo opportunity. You
Yeah.
They not getting the context.
But that's like saying all the looters right now. That's exactly what they're doing. Like the people that's looting. They see this as an opportunity to just I don't know. I guess get whatever they want, do whatever they want. I mean, I don't know the purpose of that because I
I
thought we
think
were doing this for everyone. I thought we're doing this because of, like you said, racism. I think we're doing so we can end that. But, I say that because I just want to know what you think that are things going to change or are we sending the message? Are we sending the message the right way?
No, I believe things will change because
I'm with you.
It should. It should.
I have to be one to go out there to create change. And I've met so many great people over the years that are willing for change. There's a plan that needs to be put in place.
There has to be.
There's a
It's got to be
conversation that people need to have. And it's not just coming from, us as individual people, but us as a unit,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up from the one that's supposed to be, you know, the I don't even
That's
know,
how he's
commander,
hiding in the bunker.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
however you want to label him. But for me personally, it starts from up there. And, when we start really walking and meaning that we're building that relationship, that's the only time things is going to change. It's easy to read the Bible, memorize some
It's easy.
scriptures, and then recite it,
But but
to reading it and walking it.
but bro, but if you read
Right.
the Bible, bro, and you read certain things and it applies to you, and you don't follow through, bro, that sucks. That sucks for you.
No,
So
no integrity.
let's Duran, I want to leave the people with this, man. As a youth mentor, what's a message you want to leave to the youth right now?
Take that bus. I have this bus system. It's called Believe, Understanding, and Sacrifice.
Believe,
Hmm.
understanding, and sacrifice.
And when you get on that bus, we all know when we get on public transportation, we're heading to a specific destination. We're heading somewhere. So when you're getting on that bus in life, the end result is to whatever goal you want to achieve. Believe in it, understand it, sacrifice, believe you're going to accomplish and make it to the end. Understand the the in between from your starting point to the ending point and sacrifice. You know, if not hanging out and watching some TV, you got to put on the back burner for a couple of months just to educate yourself or finish school or just go out there, sacrifice something you love right now, something you like to gain access to something you love, then you got to do it.
Hmm.
So take that bus. I would tell
I
any
like
youth,
that. Take that bus.
take that bus. I'll tell any youth, take the bus. Believe, understand, and sacrifice. I tell
Believe,
adults the same
understand, and
thing.
sacrifice. All right.
Yeah, the last part is hard for the majority.
Believe, understand, and sacrifice. Listen, man. Even if you're a grown man, that's something that you should be doing, man. So,
Oh yeah,
you know, um, one of the last things I leave with is it's something that I actually we were speaking about this in our book club yesterday. I'm sorry, earlier before I got on here was that it was about going back to what we were talking about being calm. When you mentioned when you're talking when you're getting pulled over, right, or whatever the case may be, you could be angry. You can go two different ways. I'm sure it can go a bunch of different ways actually, but calmness. This is what I got from it. Calmness is one of the most beautiful jewels of wisdom.
mm,
You know, amongst all this madness, just like Duran said, I with every fiber of my being, I know that again, being transparent, it will get worse before it gets better, but it will be a lot better, and we'll take bigger strides, moving forward as a just as a world, as a unit, just sticking together and doing, having these open conversations, because I think that this is something that is not really brought up unless something of this magnitude happens. But I'm just so grateful that I'm connected with you guys on a whole nother level that this type of noise when we look at it, it sounds kind of just like, well, how is this even happening? When we connect on such a great level, whether it's spiritually, mentally, business wise, because we connect like this, and I'm pretty sure it's because of our foundation. You know what I'm saying? And I want a day at a time. I just want to continue to be, that light in the darkness. Darkness can't fight darkness.
nope.
So we need to continue to be that light, and I'm glad that we came together here on this in this round table, and was able to speak this, man. P, is there anything you want to leave these people with?
Right? Be the change you want to be in the world.
Is that
Absolutely.
who said that? Gandhi,
I got that from earlier today too. I like
Gandhi,
that. Yeah. That's
but
Gandhi.
yeah, man. So we definitely are in some trying times, man, and I appreciate you for being on here, Duran.
I
I
appreciate you
definitely
having me, man.
this was special, man, and I definitely gotta go and see the kids. I gotta go see the kids. I know I gotta drop you off some shirts and stuff too. So we
Absolutely.
let's plan that this week.
Yes,
You
definitely,
feel me?
definitely.
Pete, we could both take a trip out there.
Do that.
More than
um,
welcome.
You gotta go
but yeah, man.
before 8 o'clock. Man,
Oh,
Yeah.
curfew.
curfew.
Well, we gonna talk about that. We gonna set that up, man. So everybody that jumped on here, man, I appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you. I appreciate every.
You know,
Definitely, definitely.
uh,
Yeah.
Mike, we praying for you and your family, bro. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment, man, and hopefully you found your truth as I found mine here, man. So, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Peace.
Peace. Take
Cut.
care,
Let's
y'all.